Yo, here we are to rank shit. We love ranking shit. I consumed in things in 2025. No, it's 2026 and it's February and we're going to rank everything I consumed. Okay, everybody needs to calm down. 13 things were consumed in February, but 10 things will be ranked this evening. We're disregarding the Evangelion rebuild films. That we are. We can't be ranking those because I had an emotive, no, it's the opposite of that, an unemotive viewing of those, since I've seen them so many times and I was doing it for a great review series you can find on this very channel. In fact, oh yeah, you can already find that. It's the Naruto one that's in the chamber ready to come out in a few days. It's not the Evangelion one. So this is actually, we consumed one more thing than last month. Isn't that very impressive? Totaling 25 things consumed this year in the first 2 months. Terrific. Anyway, let's get into number 10. Oh, it's that shit show, Night of the Seven Kingdoms from 2026. Our first 2026 feature, my first full consumption of 2026. I think the only thing at all I've consumed that has come out in 2026, in fact. I really, really do not like this show, if you didn't know. I have 6 episode reviews here on the channel, 2 of which featured Elite because he also did not like the show and dropped it. This show's got a lot of pooey humor, and it undermines all the good aspects of the thing I like from the book. Obviously, I read the book in which this series is adapting this year also, and it was ranked my number 1 thing last month. So it was a very bad adaptation, I thought. Also, I nearly forgot I made a scripted video on the fact that I didn't like the show and explaining it in more detail. So everybody, this is no surprise. Overall, I think I would probably give it a 2 out of 5. It's probably fine if you don't know anything. It's horribly generic in places. I don't know. I think it would annoy me even if I hadn't read the book. The things that people like about this show definitely makes me dislike them. So this show's bad. Everybody knows it, but you all love it apparently. It's got the highest IMDb score or something. Who gives a fuck, you idiots? Look at his bare butt cheek there. That's not very cool. We don't like that kind of stuff in our prestige drama TV series on HBO, of which another one will be featuring here momentarily. Or will it be a long way away? We'll never know. It's not number 9, because number 9 is Florence from 2018. Florence, and a soon-to-be-featured video game also is And Roger. We did a discussion video with Mr. R about both these. We played both of them back-to-back. They're similar in the fact that they are, picture book-esque, very short, story-based games. Florence is about this lady getting a boyfriend, then breaking up with the boyfriend, then moving on with her life. My goodness. And you go on that emotional journey for about 41 minutes or something. There's little mini games you play. You clean the room. You put pieces of a puzzle together. You click some dialogue options. Actually, I don't think you do that very explicitly, but there's little things you can do. I think I've soured on Florence a little bit in the fact that when I think back to it, I'm that was the thing, I guess. That being said, I would still probably give it a 4-star. We are in the era of 4 stars here. I think the next few things might have 4 stars, but then we actually bump up a little bit, much more than we were bumping up last week. But yeah, Florence it kind of just washed over me. I don't really think about it very much. I don't really have any interest to engage with it any further or go back to it or watch videos about it or anything like that. So, I'm a bit iffy. But, maybe there'll be a time when I feel the Florence vibe or something. I go back, I see somebody talk about it in 3 months when I haven't thought about it in a little while, and I think about it fondly or something. It's a bit to be determined. But it was fun, it was good, it was creative, it was nice. So yeah, here it is at number 9. At number 8, we have Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which is an interesting placement on the list, which indicates that this is also a 4-star thing. Me and Alita Reed did a big review, as we do. It was probably 2 or 3 hours about this show. He had done a reaction series to it, and this was something we were going to do a review discussion for at some point, and then he jumped the gun, and that wasn't very nice. And then I watched the whole show after he had finished it, and we did that discussion. I want to say that the show is whatever, but I do really reflect on the vibes and think the vibes are cool. But that's not true. There's 2 things I really like about this show, and that's the opening and the ending, and the visuals that accompany them, and the songs in which they are sung behind. Especially the Edie, where it's the girl here walking towards the camera and it's the song and it's sad. And it's not just like, oh, you like the OP and Edie, like removed from it. No, I really liked them in the context of the show. I think the OP almost always just played at the beginning. And it was like, oh, yeah, this is like the vibe and we're getting into it. What a fun and exciting time. I can't wait. Also, I guess I was pretty engaged with this show because I did watch it all pretty quickly, which is something I usually don't do with anime especially. I'm usually dragging my feet, kicking and screaming to watch this nonsense. Not like some of the other things we're going to talk about at the back end of the list. But like the way the show would like transition into the ED and then the vibe that would hit you when you see the ED and how that would relate to what you had just seen, and it meant different things in different episodes and stuff like that. For whatever reason, that has really stuck with me, and I do listen to both of the songs, the OP and the ED, quite often. So it's not just them removed from the context that I like. It does have something to do with the show. On the other end, the show is kind of lame, I think. Like, it's not cool, and it's not, like, dark and seedy, and I'm not really emotionally invested. It looks nice, and it's kind of interesting. It's a very mixed bag to the point where you'd think this is, like, a 3 or a 3.5. But I didn't feel right putting it beneath Florence, and so maybe it is a 4-star. What are number rankings? What are star rankings? And then what's a numbered ranked list? Who knows? But I will say, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, when I think about it, I'm like, that song was cool, bro. It's not like a negative thought, like with A Night of the Seven Kingdoms or something shitty like that. I guess just like A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the fact that people really like this show is kind of annoying. It's like, come on, guys, what are we doing here? Let's demand a little bit more from our prestige anime. But also that's just like discourse stuff or like other people annoying me. But yeah, also I like that I kind of watched it. It's like one of the more popular anime to have come out in the 2020s. Like, I don't know, like Demon Slayer, even though I think that's like 2019 originally, right? Or it might even be earlier. Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man. I've seen 2 of those shows. And Freerun is probably the other one, right? These like the big shows of the decade so far. So it's nice that I'm caught up on one of them at least. Number 7 is Pluribus. This is another one, and this is an interesting ranking, because Pluribus is obviously better than Cyberpunk Edgerunners. But when I think about Pluribus, it is kind of with disappointment and annoyance, where I'm like, we didn't do anything for 5 episodes at the end there. Why didn't we do something? And I would always say this to a leader in the discussions a little bit, and he'd say, no, things happened. And the truth is, things did happen. But I am left with a lack of closure and a lack of progress, a feeling deep inside when I look at Pluribus. And this is found out because, like, when the Great Blind Wave was reacting to Pluribus, I was like, I don't want to watch Pluribus. Like, I'm sure the first 2 episodes are cool, and then they're going to have the same discussions that everybody has, and then, like, there's no payoff to, like, getting through the rest of the season to me. And I think I stopped watching the normies react to it, too, even though I started at the same time as them. And like perspective reactor channels, I'm not like, yeah, let's watch Pluribus. It's like, no, watch something else. Obviously the acting is really good. Obviously, what is her name? Is her name Claire? Why do I think her name is Clara? Oh, that's from Mad Men, I guess. Is her name Claire? Sorry, Claire. Hello? No, it's Carol. It's Carol. See, I've forgotten it, so the show must be bad. We like the yellows. It's similar to Florence, huh? But this is a very good striking image. That is great. Obviously it has potential. Obviously I'm going to watch it when it comes back. I'm going to hope it speeds the fuck up, and I'm also going to be very annoyed that it's going to be 2 years from now. Part of me does definitely wish it was like a one contained story in one season or something. But I don't know. So when I think about Pluribus, I have mixed feelings, even though it's pretty good. The main lady is very good, and her interactions are good. But I don't know, I'm prickly. In my heart, Pluribus is a prickly subject. Because I think as we were watching, I was like, this is probably like a 9 out of 10. But I would definitely say Pluribus is safe in the 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5 category here. But that's all Pluribus and my, waning admiration. My thoughts on it change the further distance I put between it and myself, which has so far been like, a week and a half or 2 weeks? Also, spoiler alert, I guess, that I don't think a lot happens towards the end because I don't think me and Alita's full discussions are out yet, but I'm pretty sure most of them are. So that's it for the Great Pluribus. Ooh, Pikachu's Peekaboo. This is a Pikachu short before the 4th Pokemon movie. Chainsaw Man is in this movie. There is literally a mower with chainsaws that's chasing them around, and he has them on each side just like Chainsaw Man. It's pretty epic. This is a good Pikachu short. So all the Pikachu shorts are basically 4 out of 5s. They're very cute. This one was a little long, I think. There was a big chase sequence and a hide-and-seek game and stuff like that. But all in all, it was very cute and very funny, and I liked it a lot. And it looked really good because it's one of these movie budget Pokemon stuff. And when you get used to the old Pokemon anime, you're like, oh my goodness, look at how great animation can look. This is crazy. And also Larvitar was here. That's crazy. We love Larvitar. But Pikachu's Peekaboo. Everybody should go watch it, you know? It's pretty sick. But I think this rounds out the 4 out of 5s and we move into the 4.5 out of 5s. Oh no, we're still in the 4 out of 5s. Number 5 is the November 13th Attack on Paris documentary on Netflix from 2018. Most of the documentaries I watched a few documentaries last year. Most of them were much newer than this. This is also a French documentary. This is like the most confronting documentary easily I've watched. Like, this is a depressing, not even depressing, it's like a traumatizing. You don't like see anything too bloody or anything like that, but it is just people talking about how people they love died in their arms, and like this one dude that owned a cafe and his wife was outside and she got shot and she bled to death, and there's like showing him walking around with his daughter, and he reads like a poem he wrote right afterwards that was like about how angry he was and everything like that, and it's like his life is like forever changed because of this terrible event or whatever, and terrorism is bad, and you know. And then it's worse when they get to like the second episode and it's about the big theater where like 90 people died or something because they just shot everybody, and it's like these people who are like pretending to be dead on the ground, and like their wife is dying next to them and they can't do anything because they can't get up because they're so scared, and they can't run away because the doors are shut, and and then there's like the hostages that were taken hostage at the end, and actually they all survived, so that was kind of crazy. And their stories, and that was even worse, and like them describing like the screams of pain in this collective room as like 1,000 people are bleeding or something. It was like, ugh, this is very confronting. It's probably the best well, the Diddy documentary was really good, but that was good for like an entertainment / psychological standpoint. It's probably definitely the most effective and best one. And it's so funny because it's so French, because like in all the American ones, like it's upbeat the whole time, even when like the Boston bombings on or whatever, and it's like it's like the narrative of it is about how the victims or whatever, or the people that were hurt that day, or they lost a foot, but they're like back on their feet now and they're doing it great, and like they lost their best friend but they live on with their best friend in their heart and they can smile on this day. That was not the case here. It's like, we will never be the same. They show like meetings they have with the survivors of the hostages and stuff like that, and they're all talking to each other, and it's like there's something behind their eyes that ain't right. They see some terrible things or something. It's like terribly confronting and horrible. And it was like 3 episodes, and it was slow, and it went through it meticulously. And there was no Americana bullshit at the end about how like, and then we like with the Osama bin Laden one, like it really wasn't about 9/11 at all. It was about like the cool Secret Service guys like tracking him down and their different leads and stuff like that. And that felt like a spy espionage thing. And here it's just people dying and the terrible effects it has on the people that survived. So that wasn't good. But also, I have no idea how to rank this. Like, does that make this a 5 out of 5 because it was profound? Or is it just 4 out of 5 because I don't ever want to watch it again and I don't really want to think about it? Who knows? But it was pretty quality. And kind of crazy. But with that, I think we definitively get the 4.5 stars. Yes, with our great Astrobot. Astrobot is an interesting one because Astrobot this is another thing where placement is interesting, because when I think about Astrobot, I am like the most minute little bit disappointed that I didn't have this life-changing experience with Astrobot that everybody seemed to have talked about when it first came out, and how I remember specifically Tim Geddes talking up the final mission, and the final mission didn't affect me at all. I guess it's because I truly don't have that much nostalgia for most of the things in this game. Like, for me, PlayStation is like Naughty Dog. And I mean that in all iterations. Like, the coolest moment was when I saw Crash, and definitively the only moment they outdid that was the Uncharted level, where they had the Uncharted music and all the Uncharted characters were showing up, and it was like Uncharted set pieces, and it was a bunch of Uncharted references, and I was like, I fucking love Uncharted, and I get all of these. But like, then there was a God of War one, there was a Patapon one, and even the Horizon one, I'm like, I don't really care about any of this. It's still a very fun game. And I do have the ambition to platinum it one day, even though I haven't touched it since I finished it. Collecting bots, the little homeworld thing you do, all that stuff was super fun. The core platforming is a lot of fun. Sometimes they differentiate from it a little bit, which is annoying sometimes. I even did a lot of I think most of, if not all, the little challenge stages, and they were fun. So I guess this is just, Astrobot ends up being like this really cool, solid platformer. More so than this like life-changing experience of nostalgic bliss that I think a lot of people had playing it. I do think it's better than Astro's Playroom, which I would have just given a flat 4 stars. This is a 4.5-star game. And I think when I revisit it and I like go back to it, I will continue to like it more and more, which is usually the case with me with platforming games. I will say I do definitely like it a lot more than Crash 4, as a bit of a reference, and something we talked about last year. It is definitely like the best modern 3D platform I've played, but I believe I played literally 2 of them. So, and there aren't really much others besides like Mario, right? It would be very interesting to see how Mario Odyssey would stack up. Should I just play Mario Odyssey? Should I just Why don't we just do it? Why don't I go inside and play Mario Odyssey? Because I played other Mario games, it's pretty cool. But what if I instead go on the Switch Online and play Mario Brothers, that little game I played for a little while where it's the original one and you got to get a high score. I got to like level 9 or something one time. That was pretty epic. And then I go through 1, and then I go through 2, and then I go through 3, and then I go through 4. Now that could be fun. I have no definitive answer on such Mario questions. I will defer to my lawyer. Astrobot was good. It was really good. It was great even. But even then, there's a twinkle of disappointment in my heart for the overhyped nature of it. My goodness. But we love Astrobot. Astrobot was great. Is Astrobot the best next-gen game I've played? What other next-gen games have I played? Clair Obscur, it's better than that. And I guess that's it, right? I guess I'm playing Ball X Pit right now. Ball X Pit is a really good game. I don't see that game being less than 9 out of 10, so we'll have to see. I'm actually hoping it'll probably be on the list in March, so look forward to that. At number 3, I'm lying because look at this next-gen game that's better, even though this is like a PC mobile-esque game, is Anne Roger. This is the first piece of media I've cried at in a very long time. Probably like the first time in the 2020s or something. I don't think I cried in The Last of Us Part 2. Did I? God, the ending of that game is great. Oh no, because that is last gen. I was going to say, well, obviously that's the best. But anyway, who cares about this next-gen conversation? Anne Roger is really good. It really is the ending moment and the emotionality it instilled in me that took it to the apex it's standing on right now and differentiated it from Florence. Anne Roger is a game you should go into knowing absolutely nothing, so I think I will remain vague. I won't even give a spoiler warning because I don't want to go into it. It's a sad game, I guess, is probably the thing you should have going in. There's a thing at the beginning that, like, it's a big twist where you're supposed to think the sad thing is one thing, but it's actually a different thing. And yeah, the last line about, what even was it? What was it specifically? It was about just asking her if he could be her date or something. And it was like, there was so much into that. Again, I did a whole discussion about this, and I don't really want to talk about it to spoil stuff. But the last moment of the game made me cry, so that was very sweet, and it was a very rewarding cry. I liked it a lot. And this is Anne Roger is a good video game. We like it a lot. 4.5 stars. Not quite 5 stars, because I guess the whole journey wasn't like the most... It was actually very interesting, but it wasn't the most emotionally thrilling thing. It was really the keystone at the end. But anyway, Anne Roger was very good. Everybody should play it. It's like an hour long. It's sick. Number 2, we have Pokemon Forever, the surprise packet. Also, you'll note that we excluded all of Evangelion so far has been excluded from our rankings and stuff. That's because I didn't want to put rewatches on it. But when I also included the Pokemon Mewtwo movie last time, when it's something I haven't watched since childhood, I think it's good to include here because it's not like I already have a perspective. Like if I reread Berserk, I wouldn't put it on here, obviously, because it's like, oh, it's going to be 5 stars and then it just gets in the way. But because I have a completely fresh view of this. I didn't really like the Celebi movie as a kid. I thought it was kind of boring. I thought the 5th one and the 3rd and the 2nd one were way better. And then all the other ones that I had, like the Mew and the Lucario movie and the Darkrai movie, and even the Temple of the Sea movie or whatever, I thought they were all better. Then I sat down and watched this movie, and this movie was absolutely fantastic. I liked everything about it. Why is it not a 5-star then? Honestly, I don't know. I guess I like it as much as I like my favorite stuff in the Pokemon anime, and I maintain that the Pokemon anime is more a 9 out of 10. There's probably some slow parts in this movie. Also, I did have to go to sleep in the middle of it because I was very late and I was very tired. But yeah, everything about this movie is great. Celery is great. The sense of adventure is great. The pacing is excellent. The Professor Oak intrigue and the twist at the end, that is incredible. The Suicune stuff is great. The movie looks tremendous. I even like the CGI monster. I think it actually looks great. And I'd completely forgotten it until I started seeing it come together. I think the villain is great. I think the forward momentum of the villain is great. I think Celebi flying them around and them going underwater and exploring the forest, all this shit is tremendous, I think. Bayleaf came out. We love the great Bayleaf. It was very short. It was very quick. This movie was absolutely terrific. It was everything you would look for. And I think it's probably still my third favorite Pokemon movie so far. I think I liked... It could beat the Entei one. The Entei one is really cool, though, and I have a lot of very direct nostalgia and very fun childhood memories of the Entei movie, and obviously the second movie, which is one of my favoriteest movies ever. Probably my most nostalgic childhood memory movie. That is to say, except for the next one, which we will be talking about with Elite RE, which is going to be funny and great. Which I honestly, it's interesting because I didn't have the fondest memories of this, and I went in and then I came out liking it. And I do have very fond memories of the Latios and Latias movie. Oh no, will we have a bit of an opposite? And I won't like that one as much. Just think of the song. We love that fucking song. And Latios is a girl. My goodness, I don't remember which one Latios and Latias are, so you'll have to figure me. But this movie was spectacular. People do shit on this movie, and I always agreed with them. But they're all fucking morons. So who knew? Pokemon Forever is a damn near 10 out of 10. Now, number 1 is Succession. Now, have we finally answered the question of, is Succession a 10 out of 10? I think so, and I think the answer is yes. Which would make it the second 10 out of 10 5 out of 5 we have consumed this year with the Hedge Knight. Now, after this, we will put the list together and have a formal, complete ranking. What is there to say about Succession? Succession is the most unique show I've ever seen in my life. Is that even true? I think all the shows that I really like are unique. There is nothing like Succession. There will never be anything like Succession. I will think about all 5 of these characters on my screen, plus potentially others, including the great Tom and Greg, for the rest of my life. Succession has a very small ensemble cast of 10 characters that are constantly in the show every episode, and when they're in a situation, they're all in it together, and it's crazy. We also, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Succession. I talked about each season individually for at least an hour, I think, on this very channel that you can go and check out. Logan Roy in the center is probably on the shortlist. If I did a top 50 characters of all time, he would probably be on it, and Shiv might make it too. Logan Roy here is a very Tywin-esque figure. I would say he's probably the closest to the thrill of watching Tywin on your screen. And similarly like Tywin, you're not supposed to think that. And the whole point of his character is that he's not cool, but he's still really goddamn cool. Just the way Succession writes, the way it does things, the way it undoes things, the way it treats its characters in these cyclical fashions. Its take on all these general elements of prestige TV and its little unique twinge on it. Its dedication to being reserved and restraint in certain aspects is really great. Kendall Roy, he's actually my least favorite probably of these characters, but everybody really loves Kendall. We've got Roman Roy, what a funny young man. Shiv, what a funny young lady. Logan, what a funny old man. And the great Connor in the corner, what a funny old kind of young man too. Jerry, Carl, Frank, my goodness, what a cast of characters. Succession is spectacular. It's also a funny show. It's a deeply funny show. It is at core a comedy. Or a satire. But it's also got the drama, and let me tell you, and it is funny because it is the heir apparent to Game of Thrones in a lot of senses. It's all about scheming. And it has the best schemes. Black Sails has some really good schemes. Game of Thrones schemes are incredibly overrated. Now, in those books, they might be pretty good. But we love a good scheme. We love a good performative patriarchal figure that tells everyone to fuck off type role. Succession is stupendous. What can I say? If I watch a show better than Succession this year, I'll be a happy boy. But even if I don't, I might still be a happy boy because Succession is really good. Now, is Succession the best thing we've consumed this year? We're about to find out. Ooh, the answer is no, that I've come down on, though I am very iffy on it. So we'll take it from the top. The worst thing, by far, that I've consumed this year is A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I'd give it like a 2 out of 5. Mewtwo Returns, I think I gave it like a 3 or a 3.5 out of 5. It's a bad Pokemon movie. All the Mewtwo stuff is bad. Florence is something I feel very indifferent about. So it's about, and everything from here till Astrobot is a 4. Maybe I should color code it. Florence, again, I don't think too much about. Akira was kind of boring and weird in places, but the weirdness was kind of cute. Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust was kind of a disappointment to me just because I didn't love it as much as I did, but obviously there's some good stuff there. Cyberpunk Edgerunners we talked about here. You know, it's, that ED, man, it was so cool. Vampire Hunter D is a bit better, and I like that movie a lot. I like that it's kind of like a play. It's pretty cool. Pluribus, again, is something I've soured on a little bit, so it's kind of in the middle here. Inside, when I think about Inside, I feel good. I'm like, oh yeah. Even though I guess I don't really like the ending of that game, or I don't think it's like, it didn't have any profound effect on me. I really like the art style. And when I think of the art style, I'm like, that was a cool game. So that's why it was there. Pikachu's Pikaboo, what a great Pokemon short. Jinro, the Wolf Brigade, will probably be a great movie when I watch it again sometime. But in the meantime, it's a very, very interesting movie with a shocking ending and a very, very unique and pretty to look at aesthetic that I thought was really boring for most of it, but turned out to be crazy. Astro's Playroom is just a little bit worse Astrobot, but it's still really good, so it's there. The November documentary, again, this is an awkward placement, but there it is. Limbo is better than Inside, and I did feel a profound feeling when that game finished, with the thing right before the finish, as he's like going through the barrier. That was crazy. Astrobot is a really great 3D platformer. It's a lot of fun to play and has some little nostalgic notes that'll make you cry, but not as many as I would have hoped. Ninja Scroll was this great 90 minutes, lightning fast-paced action movie with cool characters that I really liked. And Roger made me cry. What a story-based little video game. And then this is sort of in the order we just did, right? So I think a big thing is, like, out of the 9 out of 10s, there's what? 4 of them. They were all this month except for Ninja Scroll. So this month kind of was the better month in terms of things I consumed. Also, you know what I'm planning to consume because the PowerPoint would have come out before this, but you should go and check that out if you want to know our plans for the future. But then the big one is Succession and The Hedge Knight, which we're both considering 10 out of 10s at the moment. To be fair, they are probably both low 10s out of 10s. I think the pros in The Hedge Knight, it just stuck with me a little bit more. And it was just like, oh, I love everything about this. I love being in this. So I think it nudges over Succession, which I think I do have some hesitation with in a little bit, some tiny little critiques about. Well, no, it's the critiques about what the show is that holds it back a little bit. And we talk about restraint. And again, we talked about this in all the other seasonal reviews. So you can go check that out if you want more information. I can definitely see a lot of as we add more things to this list, changing, maybe Edgerunners is actually better than Vampire Hunter D, or little changes there. We'll sort of chronicle them as we go on these PowerPoints. I can definitely see it as there's a point where Succession might be more. Honestly, since I finished Succession, I have just thought about it a lot, and I've been like, that really was a great show, and I have the opposite of soured on it. I've grown greater ingratiated to Succession the longer time puts between us. So, that'll continue next month. There'll be even more time, so maybe it'll all changed. Will there be a new number one? You can only hope that every month there's a new number one and you're just continually consuming great things. But on that front, we will have to see. Shut up, computer. That's it for our great ranking this month. We'll be back next month, of course. Stay tuned for all the things we consumed. Most of these things and most of the things I do consume, I do talk about on this channel in greater detail, so subscribe if you want them before. Oh, you want to know. You want to be in the know before we get to next month's ranking. Anyway, that's it. Support links in the description below. Thanks.